A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala sayyidil mursalin, Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali wa ashabi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. The topic is coping with childlessness. But before I go into the topic proper, I would want us to understand as Muslims some very basic facts of life. And one of it, and very important, is that we have a creator who has created us the way he wants, and he has a purpose for everything he does. He is the planner, he is the designer, he is all-wise, he is all-knowing. At the same time, he is a loving God, he is a kind God. He is Al-Wadud, he is Al-Karim, he is Rahmanir Rahim. For whatever he does to his creature is part of this design, and he has his reasons. We may not know some of them, but we should believe that Allah never does what is wrong, and Allah is never unkind to his creatures. If we believe this, the Quran goes to ask, do the believers think that they will just say we believe without being tested? Our belief would be tested in various ways indeed. Even what we consider as positive, owning of wealth, owning of good health, being favored with the good things of life, are part of the test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we consider as not too desirable in the issues of life that affect us are part of Allah's design, and they are part of this big test. The world is a testing ground for the believer. It is a road. It is the means to an end. Therefore, for every issue that happens to the Muslim, that very issue is a test. Is it wealth? If we give you wealth, how will the son of Adam utilize it? If we give you poverty, what will be the reaction of my servant to my decision, to my action to him? These are all part of the life of the Muslim. We must therefore be careful that even in areas of issues that we are happy with, that we do not offend against the dictates of Allah. Wealth must be properly spent. Zakat must be appropriately given. It must be devoid of haughtiness, of show. And where it is poverty, we must desist from excessive complaint. We must desist from going into areas that Allah will be unhappy with, like cheating, like stealing. So our reactions, in fact, become a test on either having or not having anything in this world. These reactions are what accumulate to show us the road to Al-Jannah, or to take us to the road to wa'iyazu billah, Allah's anger and his wrath. So it is a accumulation of our reactions that actually make us or point out to us in this life and in the hereafter the strength of our iman, the purity of our hearts, and the belief with which we understand and accept what Allah has done for us on earth. The Englishman will say, it is only through fire that we get fine steel. All these haves and have-nots are what makes us staunch, pure, and sincere believers. So the believer must be careful to take what Allah has given to him as a favor and as well as a test. And what he has not given to him as a test, will my believer accept? Will this believer still call me Allah? Will this believer run away and do what I don't want? We must guard our faiths by understanding these facts and taking everything we have as a test and everything we do not have as a test. Now, talking specifically about childlessness, the Quran itself has told us that Allah gives to some people boys complete, to some people all girls, and to some people mixed, and to some others none. We know that we might not know which category we fall into, but we shall still have hope in His mercy, and we must also pray hard, and we must take measures that are in consonance with Allah's injunctions. They could be medical, they could be herbal. And at this juncture, I must say that particularly ladies should not be bothered by the problems that the family members, particularly of the husband, might pose. This should drive the sister closer to her Lord through prayers and good acts of charity. We must know that any problem is as big as we make it ourselves. If we downplay it, we will find that, inshallah, they are surmountable, even if in our hearts. We must also know that our faith is strengthened and our patience and perseverance will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must also believe and know that everything in life, including ourselves, are temporary. For that reason, the issue of having a child or not is going to be a temporary affair. We must also understand that even those who have children have their other tests that Allah has kept for them. Who knows, maybe even more difficult than some of us that don't have children. So if we have children, we still have our tests in other areas and in other ways. If we don't, it is a test, and Allah will judge all of us according to the reaction to these issues. So nobody is spared, because being in this world is being in an examination hall. Our faith will be strengthened, and we must continue to do acts of charity. And I will add that this issue must be discussed with people that are godly. If you must talk about your childlessness, please do not go to someone who is going to ask you to go running from pillar to post. Talk to people who will direct you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will strengthen your faith. The issue of childlessness does not become an issue for which Allah will be angry with you. It should, in the end, turn out to be an issue for which you are going to get so much reward that at the end of the day, you'll be saying to your Lord, when you meet Him, thank you for making me what you made me. Because of the reward you are going to see, because of the reward you are going to receive, because of His good pleasure and His good face with which you will be confronted on the day of Hisab. May Allah grant us the heart and the iman to accept what we cannot change. And may He help us to accept that what we cannot change, we shall be rewarded for our patience, our perseverance, and our iman. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.